Hey everybody, it's XS Master X. Welcome to another episode of Pokemon LeafGreen. I think this is episode 5. Yeah, it should be. Last episode we got through Route 4. In this episode we'll be going to Mount Moon, the first dungeon of the game. And there are a few new Pokemon here. First of all, Geodude. Now, Geodude's a Pokemon that's actually pretty good for in-game teams if you're playing it on the cartridge. On an emulator, it's not really that useful because its final evolution is a trade evolution, which means to get it to evolve, you have to trade it to another game. And you can do that as an emulator, but it's kind of tricky. I'm not sure how to. I think you have to open up 2 Visual Boy Advance windows, and I don't know. So, yeah, I don't think I'm bothering with any of that. And I'm worried that anything Mankey will use will be a one-hit KO to Geodude, but these things aren't exactly rare, so whatever. Dude is a pretty recurrent Pokemon. Oh yeah, this. Beware, Zubat is a bloodsucker. Yeah, I don't know why they... Just kind of a random little... Oh, Bullet Seed. This is a grass type move which can hit 2 to 5 times. It's basically the same as Fury Attack. Now the question is, I don't think I want to teach it to Ivysaur because Vine Whip does 40 damage consistently, whereas this has most of the time do 20 or 30. So, yeah. These moves are kind of inconsistent, but they're usually decent for beginning of the game. If you have a Grass Starter that does Absorb rather than Vine Whip, it'd probably be good. Yeah, that's kind of a weird line because I just don't really know what they mean by "what about you?" Like, are they asking me if I've seen any suspicious men, or are they asking me if I am a suspicious man? Which I'm clearly not. As far as dungeons in this game go, this Mount Moon is pretty straightforward. Some of the later ones are infamous for often getting players lost. And even Rock Tunnel, I think, is kind of linear if you have Flash. Okay, so yeah, there's Fury Attack. I think Fury Attack is a bit more powerful than Bullet Seed, so that's always nice. And now I have a dilemma here. Okay, so here's what I normally do when I'm arranging which Pokemon I send out first, and like the order of my team. Normally, I look at the level and place them in order by lowest to highest. If there's multiple Pokemon that have the same level, which there often are, then I use their HP stat, lowest to highest. And then if 2 Pokemon have the same HP stat, I go by, if it's a female, it goes first, because of the classic ladies first. It's kind of an arbitrary thing, but I don't really have it. That's always what I've done. However, I have 3 female Pokemon with the exact same HP and level. So I think next I will go by National Pokedex number. So I think Spearow would be first, or would it be Pikachu? No, it'd be Spearow, never mind. I don't have the National Pokedex memorized, like, past, like, the first 30 or so, because those are pretty easy. I just never bothered. I do have, like, the first 2 verses of the original Pokerap, memorized, but I haven't gotten around to memorizing the rest yet. All I know is Electro, Diglett, Nidoran, Mankey, Venusaur, Rattata, Fearow, Pidgey, Seaking, Jolteon, Dragonite, Ghastly, Ponyta, Vaporeon, Poliwrath, Butterfree, and then Venomoth, Poliwag, Naruto, Golduck, Ivysaur, Grimer, Victreebel, Moltres, Nidoking, Farfetch, Abra, Jigglypuff, Kingler, Rhyhorn, Clefable, Wigglytuff. And then there's Zubat, Primeape, Meowth, Onix, Geodude, Rapidash, Megaton, Staryu, Gengar. Is it Gengar? I don't know. I don't really know what's after that. I also have the Greek alphabet memorized. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Zeta, Kappa, Lambda. No, I missed something. After it's Zeta, Eta, Theta, Iota, and then Kappa, Lambda, Mu, Nu, Xi, Omicron, Pi, Rho, Sigma, Tau, Upsilon, V, Chi, Psi, Omega. And the only reason I know that is because there was an extra credit project in my pre-calculus class a few weeks ago, and oh my gosh, this thing. Wow, do not take Clefable lightly. You can find Clefable here, but it's kind of rare. I actually did use a Clefable in my most recent Pokemon LeafGreen cartridge run, which I have actually yet to finish. I'm in Victory Road, and the run's been going on freaking years. I just have, okay, see, Vital Spirit is useful. Have I seriously spent 7 minutes just in this first room? There's no way that's right. Wow, I can waste a lot of time when I've set my mind to it. Alright, I'll go back and heal real quick. Okay, no more time wasting, let's get this on. Clefairy is more commonly found in the second major room of Mount Moon. And in these tunnels, you have a 100% chance of finding a different Pokemon. There's also some hidden items in there, but I don't really know where any of them are. And they're kinda, I don't want to check every single rock in a room, but you can find tiny mushrooms, which are pretty useful, because there's a guy later in the game who will reteach a move your Pokemon forgot. If you have 2 tiny mushrooms or 1 big mushroom. And I'll be going on more about consistent ways to get these later on. I might want to switch to something that's a physical special attacker, because this thing is tanking up. But yeah, the bottom tunnels have a 100% chance of finding a Paris, which is, I don't think we've seen yet, but Paris is notable, and its evolution Parasect, in that it's the only Pokemon in the game, starting from 5th generation, that can be 6 times weak to a move. If you have a Parasect with its hidden ability Dry Skin, it will be 6 times weak to fire. I did mention this in Anmika's Mega Man Let's Play, but I figured it was only right to say that again here. See, I told you, do not take Rattata lightly. Early in the game, it has some surprisingly powerful moves. Although I'm not bothering to use one because it still isn't that good. Zubat, right? Yeah. Zubat can also be found in this cave. I've probably already run into one. Yeah, you saw them on the sign. Zubat's a Pokemon that is gone down in history for being like the only Pokemon you ever find in cave areas in Pokemon games. And thus, it isn't well liked. in this generation, it evolves into Golbat, which isn't really that good of a Pokemon. So on second generation, they gave it Golbat an evolution, Crobat. However, while Crobat is awesome and like a lot better and one of my favorite Pokemon, I would not recommend using it in this game because Golbat cannot evolve into Crobat until after you beat the game and get the National Pokedex. So yeah. Okay, there's Paris, as I was mentioning earlier. I've always liked Paris despite the fact that it is kind of a sucky Pokemon, as it's frequently ridiculed for being 4 times weak to flying and fire, or 6 times weak to fire. And this is especially since its main stat is supposed to be defense. I guess see if I can catch this one. Okay, excellent. No, I don't have to. Well, I know Thunder Wave, so that wouldn't have been a problem, but still. Oh great, now I'm paralyzed too. I wouldn't consider Paris a very good Pokemon to use because it's a bug and grass type, and its attack stat is kind of decent, and its special attack stat is like not usable. And so that would sound fine because one of it, bug, it's a physical attack type, and grass is a special type, so you can just use bug moves. Except from this generation and all the previous ones, unless your name is Heracross, you do not. Unless your name is Heracross, you do not have a good bug type move. Like, there's like Leech Life and Fury Cutter, and like Pin Missile, and that's about it. The best bug type move that any bug type in the game gets before the National Pokedex is like Beedrill's Twin Needle, unless I'm forgetting something. Gen 4 fixed this by introducing Bug Buzz and X-Scissor, which are not like really powerful, but they get the job done. Although it also introduced Stealth Rock, so bug types were still considered useless. Because Stealth Rock is probably the most game-breaking part of that generation. Should I go back and heal? Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, onward with my previous rant about Stealth Rock. But yeah, basically what Stealth Rocks is an entry hazard, which you never see in games. You probably wouldn't notice, but you use the move, and then every time a Pokemon comes in, unless it fulfills certain requirements, it will get damaged by whatever hazard you have there. And Stealth Rocks, basically, they do damage to any Pokemon, unless it has like a special ability, which is like very few Pokemon do. And it does damage depending on how weak that Pokemon is to the rock type. So most Pokemon would take 12.5% of its damage upon switching in, and that's a lot. And Pokemon resistant to rock would take less. But Pokemon weak to rock would take 25% of their damage, and Pokemon 4 times weak to rock would take a whopping 50%. Thus Pokemon who are weak to rock were automatically given an extreme nerf. And plus Pokemon like Charizard, who have otherwise been pretty good, were bottom tier, just because Stealth Rock was everywhere. And there were some Pokemon 4 times weak to rock that managed to still be pretty good and make a high tier, but not many. You had to be really good. Thus the fire type and the bug type were both like delegated to mostly bottom tier. And this was not really fixed until Generation 6, where Stealth Rock itself wasn't nerfed, but there are a lot more ways to counter Stealth Rock, because before the only move that could remove them was Rapid Spin. And thus Pokemon that knew Rapid Spin were more likely to be in a higher tier, such as Tentacruel and Starmie, Donphan, Fortress. There are a few that were common back in the day that have mostly become obsolete now that another move that could remove entry hazards was introduced, which was, well, I mean, it wasn't really introduced. It was just a move from Gen 4, Defog, that was previously useless and could now remove entry hazards from both sides of the field. And since most flying type Pokemon got it, it served to keep entry hazards in check pretty well. Which is always good. And thus, not every team had to have a Rapid Spinner and a Hazard Setter, so team options got a lot better. And hey look, I haven't caught a Zubat yet. I should catch one now. I think if I catch this one, I still haven't caught a Geodude. I can probably use it off screen, that's no big deal. I didn't realize how long this place took to go through. Like, I'm probably just wasting time and not getting anything done. I was hoping to have this whole place done with one video, and that's not gonna happen at this rate. So I'll probably start speeding through wild battles. Because with emulators you can hotkey something to just speed up the game whenever you want. And normally when I'm playing through a Pokemon game, I'll just kind of have it on non-stop and go running around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, I'll follow my rainbow. But for the sake of this Let's Play, I think that'd be a bad idea, because it'd probably crash Camtasia with all the stuff going on, and plus it'd make it a lot harder to tell what's going on in the game for the viewers. But it's kind of an ingrained habit, and several times in an episode I have to like stop myself from just speeding through everything. It's kind of spoiled me. And that's the reason why last summer I tried to replay through Pokemon Fortune, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's been a long time since I beat Platinum, so I'll take my sister's old Diamond game and play through that on my own. However, the first day I played it for like 5 hours and I gave up, because the game runs extremely slowly. And there's some reason why it did. This was kind of fixed in Platinum and in later Fortune games, but that's the only reason I just couldn't stand to play the game, because I had to do some grinding for the gym. And considering the only thing I had to grind off of was Geodudes, which my attacks were not very effective against, thus they took forever to go down. It was just torture. So I tried to get a DS emulator so I could play a 4th gen game with the speed up key and hopefully help that. But I couldn't get anything to work, any ROM I downloaded to work on the thing I got. So if anyone has any advice on what DS emulators work and what ROMs work, that'd be great, because I have been hoping to go for a trip down memory lane. Pokemon Pearl's kind of an interesting game for me, because while now my Pokemon Pearl couches is the abandoned wasteland of hacked Pokemon, I remember just the extreme excitement I had for the game. However, when the game came out, I did not have a DS, yet I decided to get the game anyway. And my sister had a DS, so I'd sometimes borrow it from her so I could play the game. I just remember being like really excited to play through the game. And I managed to get a DS by the time Pokemon Platinum came out, so I got that. And that was pretty awesome. I have good memories of that generation. Also, that brings me to another point. Every Nintendo console I've gotten, barring the Wii U, has been gotten for a Pokemon game since the Game Boy Advance. I think I asked for the GameCube so I could get Pokemon Colosseum. I got the Wii so I could get Pokemon Battle Revolution, which I should go back and play sometime. Actually, that'd be fun. The DS I obviously got for Diamond and Pearl, and the 3DS I got for Pokemon X and Y. There's like some other game I wanted that was coming out. But yeah, most people got the 3DS for X and Y, I think. I got the Wii U for Pikmin 3 and Sonic Lost World. And Pikmin 3 ended up being really, really awesome. Sonic Lost World's okay, I think. But later, because of Smash Bros, I ended up being really glad I had these consoles. My Wii U collection is quite grown since I got it about a year ago. My favorite game on it is actually Super Mario 3D World, I think. Oh yeah, I also got the Wii U for Mario Kart. Can't forget about Mario Kart 8. There is a funny story about how I got into playing Mario Kart, but I don't really feel like telling it right now, so I'll save it for later. Alright, I think I'm gonna try to finish this floor in this video. It might be a bit long. I'll probably cut some stuff out, like this encounter. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can remember what this girl has. She has 2 Oddishes and 2 Bellsprouts. Yeah. It definitely is bigger on the inside in Pokemon. I mean, hey, it's my mom. Okay, so she has 1 Oddish and 1 Bellsprout. Whatever. Close enough. I think this is the first time I've ever seen these Pokemon. Oddish can only be found in Pokemon Fire Red, and Bellsprout can only be found in Pokemon LeafGreen. Personally, I think Bellsprout's a bit better, because it has better attacking stats. But yeah, we'll be finding that one later. I think I'm gonna switch out Mankey. And that's over. Nope, no it's not. I spoke too soon. I actually got a GameCube Game Boy Advance emulator just so that if I ever want to trade Pokemon I could use that instead of having to trade Pokemon to Colosseum and then to the other cartridge. Because I actually have every 3rd gen game on cartridge and played them all obsessively. Pokemon used to be like my entire life, and now it's just most of my life. Like, there's a quote from Tamashi Hiroka that I think sums up what Pokemon is to me. It's just kind of so ingrained into my life that I could never imagine life without it. And that's a bit unusual. Hold on, I gotta see if there's any tiny mushrooms. Because I said there were. I actually didn't know about the tiny mushrooms in these rooms until very recently when I was looking through Cerebi.net's Poke Earth. Okay, now I know how this place is taking so long. There's so many encounters here. It's unbelievable. We're pulling a big job here. Get lost, kid. It's never exactly clear what Team Rocket is doing here, though. Like, I guess they're looking for Pokemon fossils. That's... I don't know. Ah, Ekans. I don't think we've seen one of these yet. It's kind of the counterpoint to Sandshrew. What was he sending out? Oh yeah, Ekans. And it might have Intimidate, so I'm gonna send out a special attacker, because Intimidate lowers your physical attack. Ekans is Fire Red exclusive, whereas Sandshrew is LeafGreen exclusive. That's why I said that they're kind of counterpoints, because you find them in the same areas. Oh, Rap. Have I talked about Rap yet? Rap was a... Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I talked about it. It was really broken in Gen 1. Stupid. I don't know why they thought programming it like that was a good idea. But then again, it was kind of the first installment. They're still testing things out. Okay, there should be an Ether. Okay. I was trying to see if I could guess what it is. But I couldn't think of anything. But this I'm pretty sure is the TM for the move Thief. Thief is useful for stealing items from the other Pokemon. Usually this is used for wild Pokemon that hold the item, such as Paris and its tiny mushrooms. Alright, almost done. Just 2 more trainers. Hello? See me? Okay. There's not much to explore. I mean, the cave is basically a straight path with a few tunnels that lead to items. Alright, I'm gonna get this Rattata before it gets me. There's a point I made earlier about you not being able to evolve Crobat until after you beat the Elite Four. It's probably the biggest criticism with this remake, in that they tried so hard to stay true to the original game that they did stuff like that, which really just was more annoying than anything. The remix of Gold and Silver, and later the remix of Ruby and Sapphire, fixed this by adding in the evolutions into the original deck so you could use them. And I can't believe Zubat survived that. Is there anything in these craters? In this crater? There's sometimes things in the crater. And up here, there's a Moonstone, which can be used to evolve certain Pokemon, such as Jigglypuff. In fact, I could evolve it right now if I wanted to. But I'll save it for later. I do plan on catching every Pokemon possible to catch in this game, although I won't be using game shortcodes for it. Except for maybe the legendaries, which I'll talk about later. Whoa, you shocked me! Oh, you're just a kid. Wait a minute, does this guy have... Yeah, he has a Geodude. So Pikachu's not going to be able to do much here. Ah! Sorry, I just remembered something. Okay. These hikers can sometimes act kinda creepy. That's all I'll say. One thing that is kind of annoying about the in-game trainers is that apart from using Pokemon that should have already evolved, that are still in their pre-evolved forms, they also use multiples of the same Pokemon. This is taken to an extreme with the trainer in each game who uses 6 Magikarps. And hey, it's an Onix, which we saw in Brock's gym, so I shouldn't be surprised. Onix isn't actually that good in game, although it's decent in like Little Cup of the Wall, I think. Okay, I'll end this episode here because it's getting really long. I don't know how much I'll cut off. Hopefully enough. Next time in Pokemon LeafGreen, I'll get through the second half of Mount Moon. See you guys then.